Have you read or listened to Pope Leo XIV's homily for his inauguration mass? This guy is amazing. I love how he's like not only super good at preaching, but also really good at putting these little like hidden messages, right? Which are just so powerful and so kind of punchy and needed for the church today. I firmly believe that in the heart of this homily, in the depths of this message, we are going to find the way that Pope Leo himself hopes to bring about unity in the church. But before we dive into this homily, I just wanted to thank you for being on this channel. My name is Father Sam. I'm a priest with the Brothers of St. John. I've been a priest for almost 3 years now, and I'm living here in Cebu City. I have lived here for the past 6 years. So para sa mga Cebuano diha, basi mangutana kung makabinisaya ko o makabinisaya ko. What we're going to do first is I'm going to go through the entire homily. By the way, I'm not going to be reading the whole text of this homily. You can do that yourself before or after this video. And I won't be showing any video clips of Pope Leo XIV preaching. So once again, go ahead and watch those. Highly recommend it. But I'm going to be kind of analyzing, right, the kind of overview of the entire message. And after we do that, I'm going to be going into what I really think is, like I said, his plan of how he is going to try to bring about unity in the church. So without further ado, let's dive right on in. The first part of his homily is actually him kind of recalling the events that the church has been going through for the past month or so, right? And he does this very beautifully in the light of a quote from St. Augustine that a lot of us know very well, right? This quote of, our hearts are restless until they rest in you. So he talks about the death and funeral of Pope Francis, which of course, I hope a lot of us were, very sad. Me, I was very sad. And so that was, of course, a lot of emotions and everything we went through. There was also the time of the conclave, which Pope Leo XIV said very beautifully that it was a time when we felt like a sheep without a shepherd. But nonetheless, the Lord was guiding his flock. The Lord continued to be the shepherd, most especially in choosing for us this new Holy Father, our new Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV. And then so once he gets to the topic of himself as the new elected successor of St. Peter, the Pope has like incredibly beautiful words to say, which show his, what I think, is a very honest and authentic humility. So he says, I was chosen without any merit of my own, and now with fear and trembling, I come to you as a brother, how beautiful, who desires to be the servant of your faith and your joy, walking with you on the path of God's love, for he wants us all to be united in one family. So I love that quote because you see that he's already getting at the main topic that he's going to be pounding into us, which is this message of unity. After that, like any good preacher, like any good pastor would do, he takes the gospel that was read at that mass, right, which for the inauguration mass of Pope Leo was John 21, verses 15 to 19, which is a story that a lot of us know very well, actually, which makes it even all the more beautiful, which is when Jesus asks Peter, do you love me 3 times? So our Holy Father is going to take that gospel and really highlight what for him is the mission of Peter, which is love and unity. So he says love and unity. These are the 2 dimensions of the mission entrusted to Peter by Jesus. This mission to love and unity has its foundation actually in the very first call of St. Peter, which also took place, by the way, near the Sea of Galilee or on the Sea of Galilee, when Jesus called Peter to be a fisher of men. This same mission is kind of renewed, right? And this is cool because if you think about it, since that time that Peter had received his first calling, Peter had been through a lot. I mean, he had followed Jesus for 3 years. He had betrayed Jesus. Jesus had forgiven him and all of this, really like roller coaster of emotions. But in the heart of all of that, those difficulties that Peter went through was a very profound experience of the love of the agape of God for him. So the ministry of Peter is to, first of all, love the people of God. Right? As a guide, as a shepherd, he must first of all love them. But this love that he gives when he guides the sheep is really coming from his own experience of love that he had when Jesus accepted him, forgave him, and chose him. The Holy Father says, Peter is thus entrusted with the task of loving more. and giving his life for the flock. I love that. The ministry of Peter is distinguished precisely by this self-sacrificing love, because the Church of Rome presides in charity, and its true authority is the charity of Christ. It is always and only a question of loving as Jesus did. Wow. So the ministry of Peter to love the flock and to make them united actually comes from the true foundation of the church, which is the love of Christ, which is this sacrificial love of Jesus when he laid down his life for his bride, the church. Now, what's really cool is after Pope Leo talks about the mission of Peter, he then kind of goes a little bit further and says that this mission to love and unity is not just for the successor of St. Peter, right? Not just for the Holy Father, but it's for the entire church. It's for all of us. He says, brothers and sisters, I would like that our first great desire be for a united church, a sign of unity and communion, which becomes a leaven for a reconciled world. So he definitely includes all of us in this ministry, in this mission of love and unity. And the last part of his homily, which is super nice, is actually an exhortation to accept this mission. He challenges us, all of us, to accept this mission. He says very beautifully, for example, this is the hour for love. This is the hour for love. So cool. He also says, the heart of the gospel is the love of God that makes us brothers and sisters. So it's so clear that okay, the real foundation of the church is the love of Christ. Okay? That's the foundation of the church. That's where the mission of Peter comes from, and that's where all of our mission comes from. And it's in that foundation that we find unity in the church. It's the love of God that makes us brothers and sisters. And now I kind of want to read this main message, right? This thing of love and unity, and to try to really tell you what I think is Pope Leo's way of bringing unity to the church. And basically, as you kind of already guessed, right, from this homily, his message is that it's going to be love that's going to make the unity in the church. Love makes unity, right? Once again, the heart of the gospel is the love of God that makes us brothers and sisters. That's what he said. Now, that is so, simple in a way. Of course, coming back to Jesus, right? But, gosh, I really think we need to hear that today because, we're imperfect people, right? And I'm sure that you've seen so many things and news about us kind of waiting to see if Pope Leo is more of a traditional person or more of a liberal person, and each side is kind of hoping that he's going to side with this or that thing. I'm just guys, that's not what is going to make unity in the church. You see, for Pope Leo, it's very clear. Pope Leo isn't going to take sides. He's not going to do it. He's just not. But what he is going to do is he's going to challenge us all to love. Now, how can we actually participate in this mission? You might be wondering, okay, that's really nice, Father Sam, to know that I'm supposed to be accepting this mission to love like Jesus did, but how can I actually concretely do that in my everyday life? Well, Pope Leo actually gives us the answer. The way that we participate in this mission of Christ and this mission to bring about love and unity in the church is by having a missionary spirit. Okay? Pope Leo says, this is the missionary spirit that must animate us, not closing ourselves off in our small groups, ouch, nor feeling superior to the world, ouch again. We are called to offer God's love to everyone in order to achieve that unity, which does not cancel out differences, but values the personal history of each person and the social and religious culture of every people. Following our dear Holy Father, Pope Leo, I want to challenge us all, right, me included, let's become missionaries. Let's actually accept, maybe for the first time in our lives, this mission coming from Christ himself, which is the foundation of the church, to love like Christ did. I really think, and I say this all the time, that the greatest thing that we will ever do in our lives is love. There are so many accomplishments we like to have, success stories, blah, 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 all these kind of things. But really, in the end of our lives, the greatest thing we will ever do is love. But hey, thank you so much for making it this long in this video. I really appreciate your time. Don't hesitate to leave a comment, by the way, in this video to let me know how you liked it. If you have suggestions, I'm very, very open, missionary spirit, right? At least I try to be. And I really look forward to seeing you for further videos for my next videos. So see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.